What's up, guys? So I've received a lot of comments asking how I record covers and how I produce them. So today I'm going to be recording and producing a cover in front of you all, showing what I do and how I do everything. So we're actually going to get into the DAW right now. Here is my DAW. I use Studio One, so this is Studio One Pro 7 at the moment. May change in the future. So the first thing I do is bring the original song into Studio One, and then I split the stems using the built-in tool. I have not heard this song many times. This is new for me. So typically, if I am recording a cover and it's like the song just came out, then I will do this same process. Got the lyrics pulled up, and I am going to hit play and split the stems while I am learning it. So it's done splitting the stems. So as you can see, that didn't take too long, just about 46 seconds. But if I am rushing to get a cover done as quickly as possible, that is 47 seconds that I'm saving. So since I'm explaining all this, it's going to take a little longer, but generally I'm going as fast as possible. So that's just one way to make the process more efficient. But the big thing now is I need to find the click. So on my phone, I just have a metronome app that I do, tap the tempo. So I'm going to skip to a part where it's actually a little easier to hear a tempo, maybe with some more drums. So it sounds like 138. So we're going to slide this around until it fits. And then turn on the click, see how it sounds. Oh, maybe that's... So yeah, this is the downbeat here. So since that again sounds good there, we're going to skip to the end, see if it still lines up. 140 sounds good, so I'm pretty confident the tempo of the song is 140. Now I'm actually going to start recording. So generally, the way I set this up, of course I have the limiter on, so this is just my process as of right now. So I've taken a couple courses on production, and this is where I've come to, but I'm totally open to learning. So if anyone has comments or anything, then that's totally appreciated, but this has worked pretty well, and it's pretty efficient for me. I typically set up 2 tracks, so this is my first track. So this is the second track, and these both, I have a preset with my effects chain. It's all my normal plugins, so the Howard Benson plugin I use, and then an EQ, then a compressor and a limiter. So as you can see, auto-tune and the de-esser are both turned off right now. So I have 2 tracks, and these are what I use to actually track. So I will name them normally tracking 1 and then tracking 2. That way, if there are overlapping vocals, I don't have to be worried about that. And then I'll create new tracks, two more tracks. And then I have a preset that I use for both. And so these are the affected things. So auto-tune is set, at a retune speed of 20. And then the de-esser is also on for these 2 tracks. So I consider these bass production tracks. Since I need a bunch of different vocals and stuff or effects, I will change them. Then I will do that, duplicate them, and then make a couple more tracks, and all of these are just harmonies and doubles. I create a bus, and this is just going to be the reverb bus, and then I create sends for everything to go to the reverb bus, and then turn it way down, and then pan the harmonies and doubles that I plan to move the takes into, the tracks, left and right, and turn them down substantially. So I actually turn all of this down, -3, and then I'll bring these down to 10, -10. And then I keep the tracking ones at 0. Sometimes I'll turn them down or up, depending on how loud the instrumental is. And then, as you can see, I got the vocal track here. So just as a side note for this cover, I'm using the original instrumental, and I always aim to make sure my vocals and mix are adding something new to it, whether it's intensity, emotion, a different vocal style. And I know there's always some debate around using original stems, so just know that if you're covering songs yourself in this way, I'd encourage you to always be respectful and of the original creators, and just know that labels can sometimes block your videos, which has happened to me, or demonetize, which is fully within their right to do so. But this is just a vocal cover as a reinterpretation of the song, and I do not plan on profiting from this. All the monetization from the video goes towards the original creators. So for the actual vocal track here, I keep this here as a way to reference what I'm doing. and then I'll mute and unmute that as I'm going just to learn. And then at the end, of course, I leave that muted. Okay, and I also forgot to mention, so when I'm doing speaking things like this, or when I'm recovering the video for the songs, I use this pop filter, but I've found that the plosives are still pretty intense when just using this pop filter, and that is why you see so many people change it out. So I'm actually going to switch to a different pop filter right now, which is what I actually record with most of the time. All right, so this is the pop filter I actually record with most of the time. It's a metal pop filter from Frameworks. Typically, I put the mic around here, a little bit between my nose and my mouth so you can, get different frequencies. If I'm doing like a choir layering or something like that, sometimes I'll dip down or go way up on purpose to get different tones. But for right now, this is pretty much how it goes. But sometimes, I adjust and move my head, so that's not completely consistent, and I'll probably do that in this cover as well. I'm also sitting up right now, so everyone comments about how I sit all the time when I record covers, and that is because if I'm recording for 4 to 6 hours, it is going to be very fatiguing and straining for me to stand the entire time, so I just sit. And also I have to do a bunch of production, typically between things. And if you tilt your pelvis to where you're able to get full abdominal cavity pressure, then it doesn't really matter. Now, some people find that they are much more comfortable and able to get a lot more energy in the take when they are standing and feel more grounded. So if that is the case for you, then by all means, of course, stand. Several of my students actually stand all the time when they sing or record, but that is just not necessary for everyone. And it's not a rule like it is disseminated within the vocal coaching sphere. Okay, so back in the DAW, we are going to start from the beginning. So I'm actually going to be trying to record some now. But sometimes I feel no hope. So that was a okay take. Sometimes, if it's a really hard section, then I'll do a couple rounds. So I'll maybe do 5 rounds of going for a really intense part, knowing that they aren't all good, and then just whatever the 5th one is, I'll look at my pitch and melodyne, see where I'm off, and then adjust accordingly, and then I'll do more rounds until it's good. As I walk on down this road. So terrible so far, but pretty much ironed out by the end, so we're going to redo that take, and I'll just keep doing that process. So all I've done today for warming up is speaking. So generally, the purpose of warming up is to extend your ability to sing without fatigue or encountering an injury and just increase your coordination. As you'll see when I get into these harder parts, that's more gritty and stuff, I will have to do some warming up before I actually sing them. But singing the song and learning it is a way to warm up. So, I can't take anymore. That was a good one. I might be lost, but I'll find the fight within. I'll find the fight within. Oh, so it actually lined up really well first time. There is hope. Since we've been nearing the end of the song, if you've been keeping up with my epic versions of things, then you will know that generally, or even just general vocal covers, I always try to take the end up, show off some more range, and add a more intense emotional element to it beyond what is already there. Sometimes, it's not as good as others, which is fine, but I just want it to be a little different from the original. So far I've been using chest voice with chest distortion, going up to about a B4. So that's the B4. So, yeah! I'm pretty much pulling chest voice up there with that distortion. So now I'll start to go down from mixed voice and meet in the middle. So that sounds more like something like this. Oh! Oh! So that's unsupported, and I'm going to smooth that a little bit, even in that unsupported range. So, oh! Oh! Make sure it feels all nice and comfy, relaxed, not super tense or anything. So, don't need to warm up too much because any additional warm up beyond what is necessary is just additional fatigue, which means less time and energy to dedicate towards the actual recording. So keep that in mind. But now I gotta add the distortion there. So it's this kind of rasp that I'm gonna be using for those higher notes. So ow! Hey! Hey! As opposed to hey! So that's actually feeling pretty solid. So for this, I'm honing in on that harmony that I might be lost. And I'm going to tip that up an octave. So it's going to be like, I might be lost, but I'll find the fight within. With every step I know I'll fall again. Okay, Okay, so now all the main takes are done. So what I typically do is I will do the layers first, the harmonies, because those will be the next most dominant thing in the mix with my voice getting tired. And then I will do doubles. So now we're going to go back. So all this intro stuff is vocoder stuff. So I'm actually going to just listen to the air stuff. So here is where they actually add in harmonies. So this is where I will start the harmonies. Like a stranger in my skin, I'm afraid of who I've been, but it started where it ends. So in general, in harmonies, I try not to do so much vibrato, but sometimes it's an accident, but it's okay. No, I've seen this all before. Is there peace beyond this war when I can't take anymore? So I might go through again later, but for now that's fine, and I'm going to start chopping all this up. Okay, so now that I've done this general cleanup thing that I just said, I will be moving into actually tuning things. So starting with tuning, just grab all these, melodyne them. So I think it's pretty good now, so I'm going to do an export and then mixing. So now that I've fully produced it and I've listened to it multiple times through my headphones and the DAW, I'm going to export it and listen to it across multiple devices, which is standard for mixing. So I'll listen to it on my phone, some AirPods, some other earbuds, maybe another set of headphones, and then in the car. And then I will maybe make some last minute mixing adjustments. And if not, then this is going to be how it sounds. And then I will just record the video now and then mix later. That's how I record and produce covers. If you guys enjoyed this, please let me know if you want me to do more things like this, and if you would like to see the full-length production and recording of this, then let me know, and maybe I could do some type of benefit on Patreon or something like that. So also let me know if you guys would be interested in a Patreon. Also, if you'd like help with recording and producing, or if you're interested in singing lessons, I offer all of that at my website, which can be found through the link in the description. By the time this video is uploaded, the actual song, this cover I'm doing, should be out and published. So if you're interested, please make sure you check that out. And other than that, I hope you all have a great day. I'll see you.